We're back. A little off schedule though. Usually it's on a Thursday, but we're gonna be on Wednesday.
Special night, man. We got a special night and a
Very
special person.
Absolutely.
As Brandon and Triche is These Urban Times, and
Cregg Armstrong, These Urban Times.
And we got the one and only, my man, Phil Handy. What's happening? How you doing, sir?
What's up? You all right?
Yeah, man, good.
Coach, listen, I just noticed this. This jacket is kind of nice. What do I gotta do to get one of these?
You like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't want to pay for it though.
I didn't pay for it either.
I
assume not.
You didn't want to pay for it.
That's the key, man. That's the key nowadays.
I know.
Free is me.
Hey, that's my favorite.
If it's free,
word.
it's for me. Give me 3. That's what I'm saying.
That's my favorite words.
Bro.
So we see you guys are in town. Y'all playing the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow. Came off a big win last night against Philly. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Just All-Star break nearing. How you feel about your season been going so far?
So far, so good, man. It's obviously my first year in Toronto. After coming from Cleveland for the last 5 years, it's a little bit of an adjustment, but it's a good adjustment. We have a lot of good young talent. Obviously, Kawhi is there, and Kyle, and some of the other young players. Danny Green is a really, really good addition to the team. Talented, man. I think the ceiling for those guys is whatever they want it to be. So I'm happy to be a part of it, man. It's a good little change for me.
It is, because as we talked thoroughly, throughout the year and throughout the seasons, I was kind of hurt when I got the news. I found out she wasn't going back to Cleveland. I was like, can't do my man's like that. That's my OG. Can't let my man's go.
Listen, that might have been.
And right now it was a blessing in disguise.
Nah, you know what, man? Look, what people don't understand, you can't believe everything you read.
Yeah.
So I've never went on record publicly talking about what happened in Cleveland, but it was definitely time for me to take the next step. And my time in Cleveland was great. It was phenomenal. I mean, I became an NBA champion there, so I have nothing but good things to say about Cleveland and the city and my time there. So it's all about upward and onward, man. I'm not looking behind me. I'm looking at what's in front of me. So that time is dead. I'm in Toronto now with the Raptors. And
6.
In the 6, man. That's what it is.
In the North. We the North.
It's cold up in We the North. It's cold up there.
He told me in the car, he said, hey, man, it's colder in Toronto than it's Cleveland. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not planning on going to Toronto no time soon. At least not in the
I'll go for Carnival. That's about it.
Say that for summertime.
Hey, I go catch a visit.
Toronto is an amazing city. Like, people really don't understand. That's a big, thriving, major city, and it's a lot of great stuff going on in that city, man. The vibe of that city is one of the best cities, definitely in the NBA, in terms of the people and the fans, and just the overall feel of the city, man. It's a great place.
And I think players don't realize, like, you don't just have a city, you have a country.
No question.
Like, you could be the man of a country.
Definitely.
You can be the real Jon Snow.
Exactly. You could be the boss. Like,
I'm telling you.
You can run the whole country of Canada.
That is a fact.
So, you know what I'm saying? As you hear, I know you're producing your Deuce brand. Talk about a little about what you got going on with Deuce.
Yeah, man. Deuce, me and Deuce did our little partnership. I've been just on this journey, man. Just, we're talking about it. I came up with a concept called Be Your Own GOAT. And so I think, as I've become a coach in the NBA and I've had a chance to work with some of the players that I've been able to work with over the years, really just taught me a lot. And then a lot of young coaches kind of started looking up to me, and I wasn't really aware of the following that I had of trainers and coaches that weren't in the NBA, but just a lot of people that followed my training and what I do and my philosophies. I was not aware of that until I got on social media. And so Instagram is the only social media I have. I'm old school and throwback. But once I became more aware of I don't like the word the following, but just the people that were really in tune with what I was doing, it became more of a mentorship thing for me. And really just, I'm around a lot of great athletes. I've been able to be around Kobe. I've been around LeBron. I've been around Kyrie. Now I'm around Kawhi and Steve Nash and Pau Gasol, and just the list goes on. But these dudes are like great athletes, and so you hear people always talking about, oh, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. And I just always felt like, man, you know what? There's so much out there for people. And it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, for example, just anybody, engineer, doctors, lawyers. There's all levels of greatness that everybody can try to reach in your own individual life. And, you know, my inspiration behind that, be your own GOAT, was just really just try to inspire people to do something great in your own individual lives. You don't have to be a high-profile athlete. You don't have to be a high-profile entertainer. And I think a lot of people in their own personal lives, they just settle for mediocrity, whereas it doesn't matter what you're doing. You know, there's a level of greatness that we can all reach in our individual lives, and that was the inspiration behind that, man, the be your own GOAT thing. And Deuce kind of approached me and said, look, Coach, you know, we're working with a lot of these athletes. We don't have an NBA coach. You know, we really like what you're doing, and it just seemed like a good fit. And so here we are, man. So the whole be your own GOAT thing is just getting started. You know, we're
taking over too.
Coming out with some hoodies. I'm coming out with hats, T-shirts. You know, just a small, simple line of stuff, man, that I think applies to any person, any walk of life, not just basketball.
Yeah, I respect that. Definitely respect that. So, with you being new this year to Toronto, you know, you get to see Kyle Lowry and, you know, of course, like you said, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, and everything like that. Can you name just the effect Kawhi has on the basketball organization, him being there now?
I mean, I think Toronto has always had, they've always, you know, if you think back, they've always had some high-level guys. I mean, they've had Vince Carter, they had Chris Bosh, they had Tracy McGrady, you know, DeMar, you know, Kyle's been there. So I think he's just another guy that's just added to that. You know, a lot of people don't seem to remember that they've had some high-caliber players, and I think he's just the latest one. Now, obviously, he's an NBA champion, and you know, Kawhi is who he is, a young talent, you know, one of the top players in the league. And I just think it just brings, again, it continues to help Toronto be one of the top teams in the league. Because when I was in Cleveland, you know, when I decided and when it was time for me to take the next step, you know, I was looking for a team that had the opportunity and ability to win. And I decided to go to Toronto before the trade for Kawhi. So I looked at their team as a team that was right there, and they had an opportunity to compete, you know, especially with LeBron leaving the East.
Right.
You know, and
Cleveland, because that was pretty much their kryptonite from the looks of it.
Yeah, so I looked at Toronto, man, just they were a team that had proven that they can win, and just, you know, I felt like it would be a good opportunity, new coaching staff, kind of new direction to kind of go there and help, see if I can, you know, come in and do whatever I can do to help that team continue to improve. So with Kawhi coming, I just think he's just a great addition. Great addition. Him and Danny, you know, both of those guys are just a great addition to already an organization that just had kind of proven themselves with a winning track record.
I told a lot of people I thought that Danny Green part of the trade was actually one of the most important parts.
A lot of people stuck on it.
He's a winner. He's a winner. He's professional. And from what I hear, I mean, of course, I don't know for certain, but he's a good locker room guy.
Oh, great.
He's a hard worker. It's easy to go in and you know, want to work hard, but when you see someone who puts the work in and day out, like I'm assuming Danny Green does.
Yeah.
Especially coming from his background, he was released by the Cavs. So he's a self-made.
He got released from the Cavs, had to go down to the D League for a little bit, worked his way, went to San Antonio, didn't really start there for real, had to grind his way up. Then went from as everybody would call him his LeBron's side dancing partner to being a dancing partner to being a champion, and now
breaking records in the finals.
I mean, you can't do nothing but respect it.
He's self-made.
Everybody's path is different. You know, Danny made it the hard way. It's funny because we were actually in the D League together. I coached Danny in Reno. His only experience in the D League. I think it was his only experience, but I coached him when he came there. You know, I was coaching D League team in Reno, Eric Musselman, and Danny was on our team, and that's when he got called up to the Spurs. So I had some previous history with him, and knew about him and his work ethic and his determination, man. And so he's what you call a great role player, which every winning team needs one of those. Yep. You need those guys, man. Those dudes are glue dudes. You know, look at Robert Ory. You know, I always like to use him as an example, man.
That's a championship.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner, and so they try to do whatever it takes to win. And so I think Danny definitely brings that element to the team.
Coach, it's okay to say you had a little bit of responsibility in this come up a little bit. You coached him.
Danny?
Yeah.
No, man. Listen, I am a dude that's here to serve these cats. No, really, because I think, you know, yeah, we as coaches, we help. But at the end of the day, man, these dudes have to put in the work.
Right.
You know, they have to be the individuals that are willing to listen and willing to put their bodies on the line. Mm-hmm. And I can only say that just being a former player myself. You know, yeah, as coaches, we have to be on our P's and Q's and we have to know what we're talking about, but they have to get out there and exercise it. So I'm always applauding the athletes, man, that are willing to go above and beyond and put in that work, you know, to become, you know, high-level athletes.
That's hard. That's the hardest part right there.
Especially nowadays, where a lot of these players think they're entitled and they really don't want to put the same work in. Because we know.
Hey, man, how old are you?
I'll be 30 this year.
28.
See, that's y'all generation.
No,
wait,
that's partly. Listen,
down.
That's part of y'all generation.
It partly, but I don't come from that. I'm not.
But you know what that is? That's the cell phone.
Yeah,
that's the social media.
It's the microwave.
Instant. I want it right now.
Yeah.
They don't know how. You know, listen. There's a lot. You guys hit it on the head. This generation, unfortunately, is all about instant. I need it right now, and so the whole
attention span is short.
Yeah, man. And then the whole let me work for what I need. Yeah. That part is kind of thrown out. Look, you brothers. I may not be able to throw you in that category, but in general, the generation it's just moved to that. You know, like you said, the entitlement.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of. I think is a lot of people don't know how to fall in love with the process of being great.
Nope.
You have to fall in love with what actually you have to put in to be great. Mm-hmm. That waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you have to enjoy that. Mm-hmm. If not even enjoy it, just at least know that that's just something you have to do.
And a lot of them want to rely on their athletic abilities.
I mean, you have a lot of people who have God-given talent.
God-given talent. They want to rely on that, and we've seen a lot how that goes by the wayside, and especially in the NBA, your athletic ability will leave you quickly if you don't develop nothing and put the same work in that you, I guess, got you there. Once you get to that stage, like, all right, I'm cool, I'm chilling, but you got somebody else, the 12th man or something like that, who's working harder, and then that's the person who's getting looked at by other people, and then he gonna start moving up, and he gonna start realizing like, oh, then you get passed by. And now you ain't entitled no more, and now you just an afterthought. And afterthought in the NBA is like, all right, well, you going to China. And then go to China and then
Spain
or something like that. Go average 40 over there. Then they got to try to work your way harder, try to get back in the league. And once we know what it is.
Well, I'll say this, man. I think the hard work part is very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very underrated thing, man. I've kind of lived by this saying, you know, hard work is undefeated. It's real. That's real, man. And you know, people that old school saying, you know, hard work beats talent unless talent works. It's real. That's why you see Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, KGs, you know, all these dudes that had talent. They were naturally gifted, but they put in the work, and that's why they were better than most of the guys in the league. And I think too, you know, there's something to be said about what you guys said about like the whole European thing. Europe doesn't get enough respect. You know, I spent 8 years playing professional basketball in Europe after a short stint in the NBA, and it's tough to play over there. The league, the level of competition is much better than people think. You know, that's why you see a kid like Doncic come in, and he's
boy, I wish Terrell was here to hear this.
First off, yes.
That man, listen, that young boy can play.
No, we agree with you. We agree with you.
You have somebody that doesn't.
The guy who Terrell, our counterpart, who used to be.
Terrell, I'm here to tell you, man, the young fella can play. It's legit.
Listen, because all I said was, as soon as I saw Luka and Trey was in the skills league, because Terrell, his whole thing is like, yeah, Luka can score, but Trey's ceiling is higher and he's a playmaker. I'm like, so you saying Luka can't be a playmaker? Is that what you say? I'm like, hey, didn't he play guard over there? Yeah.
I said he's always going to have. He's always going to have one thing that Trey's never going to have. He's always going to be 6'7".
Yeah,
He's a point guard,
And
man.
we saw him.
Trey nice too.
Trey nice.
I like Trey. I like Trey.
We don't dislike Trey,
Yeah,
but we just
no.
said that
I feel like
Luka.
I just wanted Luka.
And we know.
I mean,
in
that's
Atlanta,
everybody's personal preference, man.
in this city, they needed. They wanted to go for Trey because
The culture.
And
I'm like, you build your own culture. That's how I feel. If you win, people will come to the game.
Hey, man, don't sleep on Trey.
I'm
not at all.
But we just said
Steph Curry wasn't born overnight.
He wasn't. But at this time, I'm looking. If you trying to, I don't know what we don't know what their plans are really. But
because at first I thought it was
they're supposed to be taking
top 5 pick.
They're supposed to be taking
now I'm
winning
like,
games.
I'm like, can y'all limit John Collins' minutes?
I like Lloyd.
Listen, I know
Lloyd's my
Lloyd
guy.
Pierce personally. Me and Lloyd grew up together. We played pro-am basketball together in the Bay.
Lloyd ain't about losing.
Lloyd is not about.
I don't know he's not about losing,
He
but
is a competitor. So listen. So I'm saying, and Lloyd has experience of going through rough times. You know, I mean, he spent all that time in Philly before. I mean, and he was there in the trenches. So Lloyd has a temperament. Even though he went through that, I know Lloyd. He want to win. So I think the way he coaches every night, he going out trying to. He going out to compete every night.
Absolutely.
So we got some breaking news. Your boy Shump is going to Houston. Alex Burke is going to Sacramento, and Brandon Knight, Marquise Chris, and the first is going to Cleveland.
Shump got traded from Sac.
Yeah. And he liked it out there.
I'm about to say
he was balling out there.
He was balling.
So, and that's actually a good look for Houston.
It's that time of year, man.
There's gonna be a lot of people just.
Let's see what's tomorrow, 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Some people might not be sleeping tonight.
Man,
yeah, as we saw what happened in.
Hey, this is a tough time of year for NBA.
Yeah,
coaches, players, management. Especially for players, it's really tough for players around the league because if you're a guy that you feel like you're on the trade bubble, your life might change in the next 12 hours. It's that part of the business is tough, man.
That's how it looked in LA,
and that's how it looked last night when how they played. They came out looking
lethargic.
like this lethargic. They looking like
it's tough, man. It's tough mentally,
and they're young, so they haven't been through this.
They've never have to. You got to think about it. Like, Lonzo wasn't out there, but Brandon Ingram, Kuz, players like that. You've been the man pretty much your whole life up until you got to the NBA, and now it's like, oh, y'all don't want me. Like I'm not good enough. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think that's part of the business where guys they can't take it personal. It's easier said than done.
It's business, not personal.
And it's a tough part of the business because it's like when you do feel like somebody doesn't want you, there's always another team out there that does. But that's the hard part. Like you said, just the part of being the man and you're used to that, and then it's like, that initial part, like, man, they didn't want me here. It's tough on guys, man. It is a tough. And again, what makes it worse now is what you have right there. That news probably hadn't even been completed yet. The trade is not even finished, and you have it at your fingertips.
Yeah, they got breaking news. Triche bombs.
You're a player, and you following Woj. You just like really?
You jaw drop.
Nobody even called me.
I'm about to say my agent didn't call me yet. So yeah, Triche bombs. So to let y'all know that. Give ESPN. give them all little plugs in there real quick. But yeah, like you said, it's for these next 12 hours. 14 hours, whatever it is, people gonna be on pins and needles, sitting there thinking, and probably laying in the bed like, man, anytime that phone rings,
I mean, people don't understand how much goes into that. If you have kids, if you have a family, again, your life has just been shifted. You got to move, you got to uproot your family. Again, that's they get paid a lot of money, but it's still a tough part of the business. Just starting over. Starting over.
I saw a lot of that with it was the documentary that Isaiah Thomas did when he found out he got traded from the Celtics. Yeah. And I was like, that looked like it hurt. Yeah. To go and then especially for him, you gave your all for that. You know,
you almost messed up your career.
Basically, you did.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know, you played through injury, you played through your sister passing away.
You know what? When you're in those moments as a player and as an athlete, as like a real competitor, you don't even think about that stuff. You know, part of it, it's in you. It's not necessarily that you're always doing it for the organization. As in, like a real athlete, it's just in you.
It's your competitive
It's
spirit.
just your competitive spirit to where you just like, yo, man, I got to keep moving. I'm gonna keep playing, you know. And again, yeah, you wearing that jersey, whatever the name of the team is, but
Put the name on the back of it.
on the inside, you're really doing it because that's how you built. You know, you're built like that to keep pushing forward, man. So it's at the aftermath when you think about it afterwards. Like, man, you know, I put all this on the line. You know, again, that's where the personal side versus the business side, man. And it's just at times it could be a tough business.
I mean, so in regards to business, like how a young player like Dennis Smith, since his just happened, how do you think his mindset would be? Because last year y'all just drafted me number 9, and I was supposed to be the face of the franchise and all this, and then
For a solid year, he kind of was. Because Dirk, I mean,
we know this year's supposed to be the Dirk tour as the one last dance for D Wade. So
yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
I don't
but
know if it
then we
was-
couldn't get Vince in there too, though. You know, we don't know, of course. But
Vince probably gonna play another 2 years.
Man, Vince like a young buck, man.
But Vince found that some
fountain.
shape.
He found that fountain of youth, man.
Vince is still windmilling.
He's still windmilling.
He's still windmilling. He's still windmilling. You're 42 years old. He's still windmilling. Vince gonna play another year,
Vince looked like he in better shape than a lot of the young kids.
which is sad. He don't even get the old man weight. Like, you know, most dudes will get 40, 38, around that age.
Yeah,
But that's a testament of a dude taking care of himself. though.
That's
You know
that
what I'm
hard
saying?
work.
That's
hard
that-
work, and he's still
Understanding.
always the first one. Even when I was down there working down there, there's a few guys I know that besides Coach Phil, who probably beat me there. There'll be a few guys I know that's gonna be there. Games at 7:30. They're there at 3.
Yeah.
It'll be Kobe, Vince, Ray, Braun, KG. All of them are there early, getting their stuff in, and when fans coming to the crowd, you're like, I don't see. No, because they done been here 4 hours already. They didn't get on the bus. They took taxi. They took the taxi there.
Broke into a whole sweat.
Sweated the whole routine, everything, and they come out and give you 35 easily. So I mean, it's just like we were saying back with the kids with feeling entitlement. I don't really see like the same work, like the kids coming in there early.
I mean, it's not all of them.
Not all of them, but
there are some, man, that really get it. You know, and again, some of them, it goes deeper than that. Some of these young players, they don't know how to work because one, it starts with sometimes with the high school coaching, the AAU culture, and then sometimes a lot of these kids, they don't go to college. So, college is an area that really teaches you how to be a competitor in a lot of ways, and they don't understand that. It teaches you have to practice, you have to go to class, you have to learn how to manage your time. There's all these different things about being a college athlete that help prepare you for professional life, but the coaching part of it, understanding what it means to go through grueling practices every day. You got to grind it out. Sometimes in college you have 2 days. You might have practice at 5 a.m. before class. You got to get up and go to class, and then you might have another practice again in the afternoon. So the coaching aspect is what a lot of the young athletes are missing. They don't really understand what it means to work. So sometimes when they get to our level, that's where guys like me have a job. In a sense, that culture has created a whole platform of business that I've been able to help generate, through this whole coaching and training industry. We have to teach these dudes how to work. I mean, that's part of it now.
Yeah.
It may not sound right, but that's the way it is.
I get it. Because I look at a lot of kids like Devin Booker when he was at Kentucky. I swear I didn't know what he was going to be because I swear every time I saw him, he was in the corner shooting threes. I'm just like, so what else has he got? He gets to the league, and I'm like, oh.
Nice.
Him, Anthony Davis, Cat, a lot of them, I'm like, all right, so I saw him play in college, but they got tools I didn't even know they had.
And AD was just they would just get used as a defensive player.
Basically.
You know, college, man, is like
You gotta solidify your
Yeah,
role.
fit the system, I guess.
it is. You know, it is very much built around a system. So a lot of times you don't really get a chance to see guys complete an individual game. I mean, go back to MJ's days. You know, go back to Vince Carter's days. A lot of these dudes, like, right, when they were in college, people didn't really know MJ was like that. They didn't know Vince Carter was like that. Not until they became, you know, got into the NBA, and the NBA is more of a individual. You have to have individual talent. You know, that's what wins championships. Talent. Talent wins championships. So that's where you see the difference. When those guys get to the league, they're able to express their individual game, and that's why you've seen AD, boom, come from where he was to who he is now. And like you said, Booker, just being able to accentuate your individual talent, man. It's just a lot of those guys are hidden. They're hidden in college.
And and it also goes to your side, the player development side, because I've seen, you know, through your tutelage, a lot of players have grown and, you know, handles have gotten right. Because I must say, this man has cooked me a few times.
The way you say it might be more than a few times.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, because you know what, B, man, we be out there pregame, and once we have a little break in between work, players coming out to shoot, B be like, check up, OG.
See, so he be asking for it.
You know, I'm like, all right, man, come on, B.
And hey, somebody did get, I ain't gonna lie, somebody did get on camera, and I sent it to him, you know. I don't know, he hit me with a little bop, and then spun off me, and he tried to leave. I was like, oh no, I had to foul him. Oh, no, you're not about to finish this. I said, we got the crowd out here, everybody gonna be, oh no, I'm not about to end up on Sports Center, bro.
Yeah,
no.
you gotta go home after that.
I respected it. I mean, he played. I respect his game, though. It's OG.
Good,
But plus, you know, a lot of players who don't know, they got their handles right because, you know, Kyrie, I mean, not Kyrie, but Kawhi, they had the handle like that. And there was some moves I was sitting, I was like, oh yeah, that's Coach Phil.
I said, you be like, he ain't had that.
I said, he ain't had the box with this. I said, okay, yeah.
You know what, though? Kawhi handled the ball. Again, that's almost like a guy coming from college. Look, man, San Antonio did a phenomenal job of helping Kawhi develop into the player he is today. And I think, again, a lot of his skill sets were, I won't say hidden, just, you know, he just didn't bring them out as much.
Yeah, a different role.
He didn't really have to.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just a different system. So now he's in an opportunity to place an opportunity where he can do some different things. And sometimes it's like that, man. Guys go from one team to another, and you might see them do things on one team that they didn't do on the other team. It happens a lot. It happens a lot to a lot of guys. I mean, you know, look at Shumpert. You just talked about Shump. You know, when he was with us in Cleveland,
Defensive player.
Yeah, and again, his role was different.
Spot up.
His role was different, you know, because we had Braun, we had Kyrie, so it wasn't required for him to do some of the other things. But now, you know, he went to Sacramento, and this season, he's been a free. He's been doing different things. So sometimes it just depends on.
I'm about to say Shump been a scorer forever, and I was like,
yeah, even when he was here at Georgia
Tech, he was a scorer. I was like, and then New York tried to move him to being a wing defender. I was like, all right. I said, that's not really Shump's game. And me and him had conversations about that before. I was like,
then he tore his ACL.
Then he tore it. Then he got hurt. Then I was like, well, I mean, he do have quick hands. He do have some of the quickest hands I've ever seen.
Yeah, he got some fast hands.
And that boy do have some of the quickest hands. Then I was like, nobody want to really see his game because he's playing defense, and he's probably not getting the same minutes because he's playing 10 to 12 minutes. And you playing 10 to 12 minutes, you got to guard Clay, Steph, whoever, and you got to knock down a corner shot. Which fans are saying like, oh, that's the only thing he do. But I mean, that's his role. But he'll give you 30.
What is required, man? A lot of people overlook that. They don't really look at it from that point of view.
They don't look at that. They just see it as, oh, you're in the NBA, you're supposed to make all these. But you know, realize I've been probably sitting down real time, 30 minutes.
Exactly.
But I got to come in. That's my job. I'm in the corner. I got to knock shots down. But I'm not in no flow. So that's why I used to hate that when players come in, they first shot, they jacking. I was like, you ain't got.
But some dudes get paid to do that.
Yeah, some of them do.
There are some dudes that get paid to come in and put that thing up.
I mean,
there's a lot of people with no conscience out here.
Right.
I'm not mad about that.
Right.
I'm not mad about that. But I mean, switching gears, since you are back in Toronto and you are with Nick Nurse. Nurse, that's his name, right?
Nurse.
Didn't you play for him?
I did. I played for Nick over in Europe, man, and in England, which was a very unique situation. But Nick was my coach. I think that was 1999. So we got some history, man. We go back, and it was probably one of the best teams to ever play in England. Like I said, it was a real unique situation. We were owned by a pharmaceutical company based here in the U.S. We were playing in the Euro Cup back then, so it wasn't like we were just playing a league. We had some talent. I think we went like 47-5 on the season.
Sheesh.
We were rolling.
That's not enough. You just
We had fun.
I'm about to say, like, that's so common.
Like Nick was he was back then. We were running the triangle. We were running the whole Phil Jackson triangle, man. We were chopping cats up, man.
So 47-5. I mean, I'm pretty sure you smacking people every day.
Exactly.
You got a 42 games over 500.
I'll tell you that.
He wasn't too happy about the 5 that we lost.
Like, hey, man, we can't go 40-7-0, man.
Oh, really? I'm not even lying. I'll tell you, he was pissed off at us one night, man. We were like 12-0, right? We were 12-0. We went to London to play this team in London. And the night before, we went out because our team was based in Manchester. So we got to London. We went out. We got lit. Came the next day. Them boys pounced us. Like, I mean, they just lit us up.
The dog bitch you.
Man, listen, that man was in the locker room after the game. You motherfuckers can't even go out and party and drink and come in and be ready to play tonight. He was pissed. We could have made history, right? He was mad, dog.
That's kind of like how some nights here. You know, when people lose here, you're like, yeah, Atlanta won. Not the team, the city. So I've always known that. I can always tell when people been out that night, they come in.
Like, certain cities will get you, man.
Toronto,
Miami.
LA,
New York.
Yeah, certain cities.
Thank God it ain't a team in Vegas. Good gracious.
Yeah. If they get one in Vegas, man, that's good.
I don't know what the Raiders gonna do.
The Raiders.
Yo, but how about this though? The hockey team in Vegas.
True enough.
Yeah,
they killed it.
They did.
Their first year, they went to the Stanley Cup.
They might be used to drinking. I don't know.
I mean,
they
I don't
half
know.
of them Russian. I don't know.
They're not used to what we got going on over here. But I mean, basketball wise, players want to be living the nightlife.
I mean, listen. I remember I went to Vegas Memorial Day weekend. Kyle Lowry was there. Him, Taj Gibson, all of them, they were there. I was like, oh, it's a good thing. Y'all ain't got nothing going on tomorrow, because I'm telling y'all standing up on the section, lit bottles. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, how can I finesse myself in here? Somehow. It didn't work, but had a hell of a time though.
Work hard, play hard, man.
You are not lying.
Work hard, play hard.
Not lying at all.
Listen, man. I'm okay with that, as long as you get up and come to work the next day.
Right?
So, some more trading news.
Who else?
I'm getting off. Cavs are sending Nick Stauskas and Wade Baldwin to the Rockets.
Man, Nick Stauskas just got traded.
Did you get traded too?
I was about to say he wasn't even with them long.
Hey, man, I like Nick Stauskas too, man. That boy can play.
I do. I mean, I liked him in college.
That boy can play.
But I didn't know how he was going to be in the pros.
I coached Nick with the Canadian national team because I coached on the Canadian national team for about 4 years. He's a solid player, man. I think he's gonna be a great pickup for Houston.
So they need some more depth because they just had.
But he fits that style.
Yes, he does.
Run and jack him, and
Houston trying to get them threes up.
Oh, they definitely are. Didn't they take like 71 game, which I didn't know.
They getting them up. So
I didn't know that's possible.
Who else did they pick up? They picked up another shooter too.
So far they got what?
They picked up Sean, Baldwin, and Nick Stauskas.
Man, Shump's gonna be good for them too. Now they got a 3-and-D dude, defend, and
he about to get his shots up. So, speaking of your guy Nick, and you did come from Cleveland, what do you see the differences between Nick's system and Dwayne's?
I think there's a lot of similarities because I think Case gave Nick a lot of autonomy to help with the offense and run the offense. I see a lot of similarities in what they were running last year. Toronto used to be my scout when I was in Cleveland, so a lot of similarities, man. It's not too much has changed because the Case had given Nick the responsibility of running their offense, so he was already pretty heavily involved with how they played. Obviously, just the difference is you got Kawhi, you have Danny, a couple different pieces, but they still a lot of similarities for how they used to play even last year.
It's a translation reason why that was his scout. That's why they lost. Because he was the scouting them.
I was about to say you did a
not
damn
why.
good job.
That's not why we beating Toronto.
I mean, it's not why. I mean,
you know, you had that monster in that jersey.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. That one game, I can't remember which one it was.
Game 2. I don't know. Listen, I was watching it the other day because I was, you know, looking at some things that we were doing to kind of figure out how I can help. You know,
just get in real quick.
Game 2, that man went.
No, that was when he hit like 8 fadeaways.
That was game 3.
That was 8 fadeaways off the.
That was
all one leg.
We went and hooped like the
that
next.
was game 3.
We went and hooped like the next day or so. I was like, I'm doing all turnaround shuffles.
That game he was hitting all one leg jumpers.
It was. I was trying to figure out how is he creating this much space.
Man,
but I was like, his footwork.
You know what? It wasn't even so much. He didn't really have a whole lot of space. When you're a great player like that, when you get into a zone,
that ball was on fire.
You know, when people talk about I was in that zone, don't matter, man. The basket just looks so big. It just doesn't matter. It don't even matter. Once you get into a rhythm, you get to a spot. It doesn't matter who's there. It's just a bucket.
I mean, because they tried everybody.
He
was giving everybody buckets.
Man, everybody got DeMar.
And that man hit about 9 fadeaways.
I was like this, and he shot one of them that was so high. I was like, oh, cash
right over the middle. Yep.
And the funny thing that when he run by the bench, I always look because I don't know what Coach Field sitting there. Coach Field be sitting back there like this. What can you do? Man, sitting there like this. Like, man.
At that point, I don't care if you coaching for him, against him. I'm sitting back there like, man, and a lot of the plays they were playing good defense. I'm sitting back there like, yo, what can you do with that? You just hope he miss. There's not much you can do as a coach. You have to tell your guys, man, that's great defense. That's great defense. That's great. That's just better offense.
I mean, can't do that with somebody.
I mean, it's some plays I've seen him, and I'm just like, there's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah, great players, man.
I mean, when you go out and
great players, man.
He hitting now, and especially early this season. I'm talking about he pulling up from 30. I'm just like,
and he ain't jumping at all. He shooting so.
It's like he's getting better as he gets older, right?
Yeah, he adding tools. This is almost like every year he adds something else.
And it's funny, like you always say, it's always great defense. But I was listening to Gilbert's podcast. He was like, "There's no such thing as good defense." He said, "I just missed a shot." And
that is exactly what they believe.
Exactly. He said,
"Listen, man,
it's no good
that's
defense.
what they believe."
So
no, you didn't make me miss. I just missed.
Yeah, he said, "I ain't no crazy
nothing
good
to do
defense.
with
I just
you."
missed it."
Kobe had that mentality. MJ had that mentality. All them dudes. Kyrie's got that mentality.
He definitely does. He definitely.
He's like, listen, man. No, I missed that on my own. I mean, but that's what great play. The confidence. That's just the confidence that these dudes have because of the work that they put in. No, day in and day out. I mean, people do not understand the work. You know, you look at all these kids. They look at Steph Curry, right? And kids want to play like that. Back in the day, kids were looking at Allen Iverson. They wanted to play like that. They don't know how much work that these dudes put in on their craft to make it look that easy.
They just see them shooting them. They just see them shooting crazy shots. I was like, man, I done
shooting no look.
I done seen this man doing these crazy drills, the Euro drills, spinning around, one dribble, pull up from 30. And first of all, I was like, I don't know where you ever gonna do it in the basketball game, but I guess works in your balance.
He gonna be prepared.
And I said, and then when I realized, it's like, oh, okay, he might have done that at some point during the game, and he's pulling up from 30, and kids just look like, oh, I want to be like that. No, you don't. No, that's muscle memory, and that's a lot of shots that it's not just easy coming in and just waking up. I can shoot from 30 or shoot from the parking lot.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, you'll know.
It's a lot of work, man.
Coach, who amazed you more? Like, who had more moments? What was just like, damn, how did he do that? Kyrie or Bron?
Or Kobe, because you wasn't with 30.
Listen, I've had the best seat. I've had one of the best seats a coach can have. Being able to coach all of them dudes. Kai used to.
Because I'm trying to figure out how he finished some of these.
To me, look, Bron is 6'9", Kobe's 6'6", 6'7", Kyrie's 6'2". And he's nowhere near as athletic as those two dudes. man, some of the stuff he used to do and still does, but when he was in Cleveland, man, some of the stuff that dude used to do, I used to be like, man, come on, man. Come on,
I had the same reaction.
No, I mean, like, no, listen,
come on,
Bron,
dog.
listen, you have a wow factor with all of them dudes. Bron's just say like, come on, dude, you 6'9", how you moving like that? You know, and Kobe was like, yo, man, come on, Cole, how you gonna shoot over 3 people like that? Just you have wild moments with all of them dudes, but Kai was just a little different because of his size and the gaps that he would squeeze through, the finishes that he would pull off without really getting off the floor. It's just, man.
I say Kyrie's the greatest non-jumper finisher.
You know where he got it from, right?
Rod.
His uncle, Rod Strickland.
Yeah, Rod. Because he played this whole finishing game. I said, yeah, that's Rod.
And people don't, a lot of new age, this generation, they be like, who is Rod Strickland? Well, YouTube him. If you don't know who he is, YouTube, Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland is the greatest non-finisher because he'll pass the ball when he gets to the basket. He'll do all this and then drop a dime off.
He can finish, though. Don't get it twisted. He can finish.
I'm sitting here looking at Kyrie, and I'm just like, I don't even know how he getting this spin.
Special talent, man.
Off this.
The boy won't put English on the boy, but put Spanish.
Off glass. Like, one he made, was it game 5 over
in Golden
Draymond?
State?
Yeah.
That was
left hand, off the wrong foot.
The fast break, but that's what he does, though.
I said, how the hell? Off the corner of the backboard.
He put in a lot of work, man. Kai was when I first got to Cleveland, he was a guy that just loved to play. I mean, he's probably one of the most naturally gifted basketball players I've ever been around. Just natural, and he just loved to play. And one of the things I really tried to help him with was just, all right, man, let's accentuate how you play by working on your game. Let's fine tune some of the things that you already do well. Let's sharpen your tools. And once he really bought into that, man, it just went in a whole nother direction, you know, because he was just a kid that just go hoop, and his instincts are
go off
crazy. But he just, man, that whole finals that year, 2016, that whole year, the playoffs was pretty crazy.
Yes,
it was crazy.
Yeah, I know.
My bad, I won't get a lot of money in Vegas.
I used to tell because Cleveland back then.
Yeah, we had to play Atlanta.
Yeah, those are my guys, and I had to tell them every time. I was like, hey man, Coach Vicky, I'm like, give me the game 6, like let me get an extra game on my check or something. Like, no, bro, we in and out. No, like
they were really in and out.
Bro, I thought it was cool. Like,
listen, y'all were cool.
Yeah, but
that's it.
I said, hey, I thought we were cool. Like, Kyrie, come on, B, it ain't, no, forget that, bro. We supposed to at least give me game 6. At least give me an extra game or something, so I can at least have extra game. Because after that, I ain't getting paid again the next season.
Listen, I remember I was in Vegas.
I be hating.
The first year LeBron was back, and it was game 1. And I think y'all had lost like game 1 in the both past series before that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna bet on the Hawks, like 3-team parlay. You know, they ain't not gonna win game 1. They gonna feel it out, see how it go. No.
LeBron's never lost.
We lost to Chicago, game 1. Mm-hmm. The series before that, we lost game 1 to Chicago, and that was a tough series too. That was when they had D Rose. They had D Rose,
Butler,
young Butler,
Pau Gasol. They had a pretty nice team, man.
Booze.
Yeah, Booze wasn't there.
Booze wasn't there? Mm-mm. Oh, no, Booze he got
They had a pretty nice team though. Yeah. Good young talent.
But a lot of people doing that championship run. There was a story I remember that between you and T. Lou, pretty much got in the team's psyche. Pretty much that you had to let them know, like, hey, y'all, for lack of better terms, it's a bad mofos. But that's pretty much color terms. I know, you know how y'all are.
Yeah, you know, it's colorful language.
Colorful language.
It was after game 2, the year that we won the finals. We were playing in Golden State. Mm-hmm. And you were watching. You guys were watching. Man, them dudes were tearing us up. Yeah. They were making a mockery of us. I mean, they were humiliating that team, man. Shooting threes. Draymond was clowning in front of our bench. Steph was dancing. It was like, they were toying with them dudes like, man, y'all clowns. Y'all shouldn't even be out here with us. And it was just a whole thing of like, man, are y'all for real? Oh, we in the finals. We just lost to these dudes last year, and y'all, do you guys see how they clowning right now?
They out here trying to embarrass.
Oh, they were clowning, and it was just like my pride, man, my personal pride and ego was just like, nah, man, this is not cool. This is not cool. I'm not letting somebody act like that, clown on me like that. So what are we doing as a team? Too much talent. We didn't came too far. You know, Kyrie's back healthy. Kevin's healthy. You know, Brian, you're playing in your prime. Like, come on, man. These dudes are not nice like that. You know, yeah, respect, but come on, man.
But y'all nice too.
No, we nice. And it was really more of, you know, I asked T. Lou after the game, like, man, I have to say something. You know, I can't. This is not settling well with me, man. I'm infuriated. And he was like, brother, speak your mind. And
that definitely sounds something.
For about 3 to 5 minutes, man.
You let him have it.
It was a blackout tirade. I don't even remember half the stuff I said. And some of the dudes after was like, yo, man, you dropped the N-word about 35 times, dog.
Good girl.
Like, yo, it was F-bomb after F-bomb and B-word after B-word. And man, I was just like, man, I wanted to just implore those dudes to compete. Come on, man, let's compete. We have more
it wasn't competitive.
It wasn't competitive the first 2 games. And we got back to Cleveland, man. They came with a different swag. You know, they came with a different temperament. And it just, you know, even though we lost game 4, you know, we kind of had some letdown moments in that game we should have won it. But even after that game, their mindset and their temperament and their body language was kind of like, they were like, all right, let's get it. You know, nobody in that locker room after we were down 3-1, nobody was in the locker room like, oh, man, it's over. You know, T. Lou was like, if you guys don't think we can win this next game, any of you, don't get on the plane. And Brian was like, yo, man, it's one game. We got to win one game. That's all we're thinking about. We're not thinking about game 6, game 7. We got to win one game. We're going on a road trip. And that was the mindset. It was a singular focus, man. And people, you know, that's what we had to really break it down to. Yeah. You can't look past it. Look, man, we got one game to play. Leave it all on the floor.
Yep.
Oh, man.
We got back to Golden State. Brian had 40. Kyrie had 40.
Yeah, 41
and people 41. Are always like, well, Draymond didn't play. I'm like, so?
Listen.
That don't mean it don't matter who was on the floor that day. It don't matter who was on the floor that night. And so my argument to that was, well, Kyrie and Kevin didn't play in the finals the year before that. So what? What?
I say that too.
What you saying?
True enough.
So it just.
They scored 50 in the first?
It was
Jesus.
It was a hell of a ride, man.
Hey, cause I remember when I heard it, I said, Coach Phil went off on him like that. I think about it, I say, well, yeah, that does sound about right, because Coach, you know, as you see right now, he's a very cool, calm guy. And I was like, then I think about it, for him to say something, they had been really playing really bad.
I mean, they were.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, it's like they were playing that bad. Coach Phil would be like, I've seen him in times they're not playing well during the game. He'd be sitting like this, and he'd be his whole facial expression tells it, and I'd be sitting there laughing because I already know, and he'd be sitting like this, and like he wanted to say something, but there's only things he could say. And I was like, after the game, I was like, yeah, it's about that time. I see, so it's either gonna be him or Coach or T. Lou gonna say something, because both of them, their personalities don't give that off to be demonstrative. So I was like, at the game 3, they came and started balling. I was like, game 4 was like, yeah, they had to let down. Then after that, I was like, I told them, I said, they're going to win the series, bro. Man, they down 3-1. No, I said, bro, they're going to win the series, dog. You could tell. Because
it was a different look.
It was a different look, and everybody was, everything was quick. Everybody rotating, moving, ball moving, popping. Brown is going crazy. Kyrie's averaging 90 points a game. Like, between both of them, I'm just like, I don't care. For real, to be honest, if Draymond was playing, KD playing that time, I don't care who was. I don't think nobody was going to beat that team, because you had 2 dudes averaging 40 in a series. Like, man,
I always tell people, I was like, yeah, Draymond wasn't playing, but that team had a better bench than this team does anyway, in my opinion. So I'm like, oh well. But I also say he put himself in that situation.
I'll say that.
Throughout the year, you get so many texts. You know, you one tech away. Yep. You got to be smarter than that.
And everybody
listen, if you can't play the mind game, you lost.
And everybody want to go back to the NBA don't never go back and rescind tech. I said they do it all the time.
Yes, they do.
I said they do it all the time. But switching gears to your 2016 team, do you think that JR gets a bad rap from people after
game one?
Because they, everybody, that's my guy.
That's not why we lost game one.
Thank you.
That's not why we lost, man. There was a lot of factors leading up to that. The officiating wasn't great. There was some questionable calls. It was a charge. Brian took a charge. We were up 4. Mm-hmm. They called a block. That's a huge play. You don't overturn that. You can't do that. That was a big play. George Hill missed a free throw. That's a big play. And again, George Hill's free throw wasn't cost. There was all kind of micro things.
That led up
and then JR's thing was just JR, and so that just compounds to what people think of him and the whole label that people have put on him. That's one of the best teammates.
Yep.
Ever.
That's from what I hear too.
Dude, I mean, he comes to practice. He works. He's not lazy. He's a competitor. So that whole thing right there, man, of course. I mean, the memes.
it was funny.
The memes were off the chain. Hey, I ain't gonna lie either, man. You know JR. You see him now, he'll sit here and laugh about the Henny memes. And
I ain't laugh about saying, so it was like, hey, man, JR, that's your boys. I go take him. Hey, man, I gotta take him out because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be me not taking JR out. So some of those had to go up there because some of them, when he's going to, they had him passing the ball and going to the Henny store. Pick up the hand. I was like, I was like, yeah.
I'm like, first off, who edited this? They did a job.
Man, they went wild. They went wild on the man. But that's not why we lost that game one. There was a lot of other stuff.
I felt like after that though, I was like, it just looked like that just kind of killed the spirit.
And everybody,
especially in overtime.
At overtime, and everybody morale went down. Like, I said, you still got. I said, yeah, but you still got 5 minutes.
Man, that's what I was saying in the timeout, because when the end of regulation ended, Brown was sitting on the bench, and T. Lue came back to the huddle, and Brown said, "Do we have any timeouts?" And T. Lue just kind of gave him this look like, yeah. Brown just lost it. He fell out of his chair, and I'm standing right behind him, and I'm like, Brown, come on, man. Come on. So once he deflated, if you look down the bench, JR put his head down. George Hill put his head down. Kevin Love was like off in space somewhere. And I was saying to myself, I tapped Pose on the show. I was like, these dudes are done. They cooked. They just mentally checked out.
It just looked like it. Like
it was hard. It was hard for them to recover from that. We had that game one, man.
I mean,
we had that. We had that
LeBron was going slap off.
Listen, they had no answers for that man.
And I'm just like, it's a dub.
He had 51, dog.
He
was conducting. He was picking them dudes apart, and they had no answer for him. And it was just like,
it looked so easy.
That would have changed the whole series.
Coach, did he really break his hand?
Bro?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's when that story came. I was like, yeah. But then when they sort of closed, I say, yeah, his hand is a little swole because his hand is big.
Yeah, but that's the type of dude he is.
That's even more impressive.
He just, I got to play. He didn't say nothing about it. He didn't make a big deal about it. Just, it was just, that was a tough pill, man. That would have changed the series. I'm not saying we would have won the series, but it would have been a totally. We would have had a really good chance. It would have been a totally different series, man.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
In that 3-1 comeback, what play you feel had the most impact? The Kyrie shot or the block?
Man, all three of those plays were big. Like Braun's block was. I'm telling you,
because it was a stretch where there was no points.
It was a sequence of plays. Those 3 plays: Braun's block, Kyrie's shot, and then Kevin Love's defensive stop. I'm telling you, all 3 of those plays were connected. Without the block, there's no shot. Without the shot, it just all 3 of them, man, they were huge he was played by our 3 best players that you couldn't have asked for.
And also, I also give credit to Swish because
Yeah.
if Swish doesn't
He kept him afloat.
if he doesn't, not even that, if he doesn't slow down,
He slowed him
Iggy,
down.
and he get change the shot up, we know LeBron may not catch that.
He slowed him down. But you know what's too, as bad as people like give JR a hard time, we came out of the locker room, we were down 8. JR scored the first 6 points to get us back in the game. To get us back in the game. So, people always talk about, JR this, JR that. Look, man, that dude is who he is. And if you don't know him, you probably shouldn't speak on him. That's a general rule I try to live by. If you don't know somebody, you probably shouldn't be speaking on them because you don't know all the facts.
That's big facts. Hey, man, we appreciate it.
Ah, man, it's a pleasure.
You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you.
Finally got you to come on the show,
doubt,
man.
No doubt.
Absolutely. Great.
Appreciate you guys having me on, man.
We'll be back next. Well, when we gonna be back?
We will not be back. We will. It'll probably be All-Star Weekend.
That's right.
Probably.
Are you gonna All-Star or are you gonna be calling someone else? You know your superstar stuff.
I mean, I ain't no
Going
superstar. I don't know what I'm doing yet, man.
I'm gonna say,
I'm
hey,
gonna
man,
try to
follow
take
man,
me-
hey,
take
man
me
on
some
Instagram.
days.
Hey, he's the GOAT. Really,
He's the real GOAT.
Come on, man.
Hey man, I'm trying to be like Coach Phil when I grow up. So I'm trying to dream. I want to be like Coach Phil.
I appreciate the love,
Man, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. Peace and love.